Hey everybody, welcome back to the Preserves. Today is bottling and kegging of our two beers that we made. The first one we're gonna do is our chocolate milk stout, and then we will do our banana cream ale. So this is my drink fridge. As you can tell, I've got my CO2 tank back there in the corner. I've got a keg filled with sanitizer right here, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run these lines. I've got the CO2 at 30 psi right now, so we can push it out. Let me take you over to the taps on the wall and we'll show you what we got over there. Alright, so my process on this is I just have the tube on here, and then I open up the tap and I make sure that this is running, and I want to make sure it runs for quite a bit because you want to really clean and sanitize those lines really well. And so the first thing that you do is you come down here and you run a keg that has soap in it, and then you run a keg that has rinse water in it. And then the next thing you do is you come down and you run your tap clean with sanitizer again, and you want to make sure that you're really running the sanitizer through both taps. So we got the first tap, and I've already done this tap right here. I just wanted to make sure that I showed you. So and now I could take this off and we'll just set it right here. This has been sanitized with running that through, and then we will take our keg off, and then that keg will sit down here until the next beer. So that way I take that one up. It's already been sanitized. If I'm only making one beer, that keg is already sanitized, so I don't have to clean and wash it. It's got sanitizer sitting in it. I can dump the sanitizer out of it, and we'll shake it around, dump the sanitizer out of it, and then go directly to kegging from there. And I'll show you the other processes that I got going on upstairs. Alright, so the next thing I want to show you is we're going to weigh up 5 ounces of our priming sugars. Instead of doing a tablet per whatever, I'm just going to prime the whole keg or the whole batch of beer, even the stuff that's going to go into the keg. The stuff that will go into the keg will get pre-primed prior to the forced carbonation, but it's not going to matter much because it's going to get cold crashed, and none of those sugars are going to be able to be activated by the yeast. So we'll just get our measuring cup here, and we're going to do that. Let's just get that to 4 so we can only do one more. Alright, that's close enough. That's 399, and then we'll do one more ounce. And there we are. So 4. And then now, so what happens is we want to turn this on, bring this to a boil, and then let it cool off. So it's all completely dissolved. And I'll show you the next step in a second here. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our washed, dried, and sanitized bottles, and we're going to re-sanitize them just for the sake, even though they've been washed, dried, and sanitized already, but they've been sitting on my shelf for a while. So what we do, we just make sure that this is all good. We stick our bottle on there. We give a couple of pumps. 3's good. And then we just start lining them up on our beer rack. like so. And we're gonna do 24 beers of each kind. And then we just put them on this beer tree rack, just like that, right there. I'll show you a little closer. So they just go right on these little barbs here. So and then I just do that all the way around, all the way up. This holds one case, and I'll do those, and then I'll get them over there for my bottling of the first beer, and then the process repeats. Let me take you to the other side and show you how we get to that point. Alright, so we've got our racking auto siphon here, and we just stick her directly into our beer. You want to make sure your beer racking bucket is totally lower than your siphon, and you just pull one up, push down, and that'll siphon everything. And then let me show you the siphoning bucket and the reason why I use this bucket for siphoning. Alright, so you see this? This allows me to siphon into or rack beer bottles. So I take this with a piece of tube, my racking cane, and when this is depressed at the bottom of the bottle, this fills up and it racks. It's a valve in here, and it stops when this is not depressed. So as soon as it's depressed, it drips water all over the place, just like I did. And then this goes on this valve right here, and then I set it up on the counter where this is, and I'm able to rack a beer after beer after beer after they've been sanitized, and then I'm able to, after I've got them all racked, I take my capper and my pre-sanitized caps that I've got right here, and we go to town on doing a case at a time. You know, it's a pretty long process to do 2 beers in one day, but it makes it easier for me, and that way I have 2 beers on tap at all times. And I hadn't made beer for a long time, and I was actually just had run out of both beers that were on tap. So we're going to make 2. We're going to bottle 24 of each beer for Christmas presents, and then we're going to keg the rest. Alright, this is what's left in your bottom of your bucket after you're done. You got a yeast cake and, you know, basically some trub on the bottom and a little bit of beer. That's what you want left. You don't want to siphon any of that up. That's going to give you some of that trub and all that nastiness. Now we'll take this bucket and we'll put it in our sink and wash it for the next runs. Okay, so we got all of our jug of milk stout in our bucket here with our valve. So basically what we do is we turn this on and it will start to flow, as you can see, but it won't come out. It will not come out of that. And so what we do is we take our bottle, and when it's got this inside of the bottle, when this is inside of the bottle, it creates, you know, a false full. So what you want to do is fill it pretty much to the bottom of the lip right here, and once you get to there and you pull it off, then your bottom will be your beer will be full, like right to the just above the shoulder of the neck. So I'll show you how that's done. And then you push up, and then you just hold it there. And it fills up pretty quick once you get up there. And you see your beer is full right to there. And then you take one of your sanitized caps, put it on top, center your cap, tightener, and boom, you got a beer. Also, while I'm doing this, I like to sit down and go through about 12, get them all done there, and then cap them all and throw them in my box. and then I run the next set. And when you get to this point, make sure that you've added your sugars, because if you haven't, or you haven't added a priming tab to the bottom of your beer, you will have flat beer and it will never carbonate for you. That's just a thing that you should keep in mind. One thing I didn't add is we're going to check our final gravity on this. And so we just do the same thing as a beer and just fill her up. Just like so. We can give her a little bit more. Just like so. And then we put that up here and read our final gravity, and that will tell us where we're at. I need my glasses. Alright, so we're at 1.020. 1, 2, 3. So we're at 1023. And we'll see what that gravity comes out to be. Alright, so we went online and we got the alcohol by volume calculator, and ours turned out to be 8.79% alcohol. And that's why I added the extra honey at the beginning, so we get a little bit stronger beer. And that's what I like. Alright, so the next thing we do is we got our keg here, all cleaned and sanitized. We've got our tube on our spout. When you're taking your racking cane off of this, make sure you have like a towel or something on the floor, because there will be a little bit of stuff that's still stuck inside of this valve when you take that off. So make sure that you have a towel down there. Make sure that you're just trying to be clean as you go, so that way you don't have a lot of mess. I keep a towel down there while I'm racking the beer and everything too. So now we just open the valve. It looks like we've got about 3 1/4 gallons that's going to go into our keg after our racking of the 24 beers. And that's pretty much it. You just let her drain into there. And while that's draining into there, I cap all my beers, the ones that I've got left. Hey, side note I forgot to mention on the beers that I'm bottling here. So come Thanksgiving Day, I'll take one of each of the beers that I'm racking today, and I will make sure I will open them up and drink them and make sure that they are getting primed with carbonation properly, and hopefully they are. If not, then I've ruined beer, but I'll still have the keg beer that I know I will get carbonated, which will be about 3 1/2 gallons, 3 1/4 gallons for each beer. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that I do check my beer at about 2 weeks that I'm putting in these cases. So just letting you know that that's a process that you have to do. Check it in about a week to 2 weeks and make sure that your beer is carbonating. Alright, thanks for sticking with me, guys, today on showing you how to rack a beer, taking you through the process of sanitizing the bottles and racking into a bottle and then running it into a keg. If you guys like this video and you want to see more kinds of videos like this on different recipes, let me know down in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Peace. But there's one thing I didn't do. This beer has to come off, and I forgot to add the priming sugars like an idiot.